Welcome back to Sherry's Metaphysical Corner. I'm Sherry. Today I'll be going over what took place with last segment with our volunteer Joe with the emotion code. And if you missed the last episode, go to my website, energyworkstudio.com, and click on video. That's Sherry's Metaphysical Corner. With regard to finding a heart wall that Joe had created as a result of the trauma he experienced, there were 5 trapped emotions discovered in his system, believe it or not, that were disrupting the organ's efficiency in his body. He understood 4 out of the 5 that we pulled up during the session. Grief, sadness, forlorn, and guilt, all stemming from the trauma with a close friend. So he was very tight with this person, and when this person shut him out of their life with no warning or an explanation, that sets off a trauma. So during a discussion with him after the show, the loss was a whole lot more devastating than he had originally thought. And the trapped emotion that was discovered regarding the neck pain that he had, neck and shoulder pain, was bitterness, resentment, and defensiveness. This was also portions of the trapped emotions stored in his system. After a few days, Joe contacted me and mentioned that he was feeling a whole lot better from the release during the show. He took some time to process all of the trapped emotions that we discussed, stayed hydrated like I told him, and he took it easy and got some rest. He then was able to pick up the pieces actually, and even went and connected with this individual that had separated from him so abruptly with a more loving attitude. So it changes your feelings, it changes your perception. So let me just reiterate, everything is energy, thoughts, words, emotions. So as in this work, we're simply removing trapped emotion. It's important to realize we all have trapped emotion, all have emotional baggage, all of us. And some of it is inherited trapped emotion, and that's another episode. I'll talk about that more at length, probably with our next series. But that is trapped emotion from your ancestors, and we actually have that inherited trapped energy given to us at birth from our parents, and it comes from one of the parents, not from both. So we go back in time, find the genealogy of the ancestor that originated it, and it travels through all of the ancestors. It can go back many generations. And the beauty of this work is when we release an inherited trapped emotion from someone, we release from all the ancestors, not from the person I'm working on, not just from the person. So it's interesting, very interesting work. So even if they've crossed over, so it's amazing. So here's an example of what it's like to the body carrying trapped emotions. It's like dragging suitcases around full of rocks through life, truly. And everything that we're capable of attaining is slowed down because it's a very heavy, dense frequency. We want to soar, but we can't. This trapped emotion keeps us tied down. And this work is like muscle testing. It's very similar to kinesiology, using magnets to locate and remove the trapped emotion. It's tapping into the subconscious of a person or an animal, and I work on a lot of animals. So here's an example of the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. I'm going to give you a demonstration of an iceberg, just so you have something to look at. So while you're looking at that, I'm going to continue, but the conscious mind is where we live. And that's the tiny little piece of the iceberg that sticks up over the ocean. And then that's our daily decisions every day that we make. That's how small the conscious mind is, very tiny. The subconscious mind is the bulk of our intelligence. And that's connected to divine universal intelligence and is massive. And that is the bottom half of the iceberg. That's huge. It's massive. And everything that we ever did, said, thought, every ill we ever had, that subconscious has all that information. It's amazing. So it's kind of like a computer. Normally, emotions are felt and then they're processed. So sometimes emotional energy becomes trapped and needs an assist to be released. This usually happens when the body is vulnerable or the emotion was very intense that we experience, like a divorce, or the death of a loved one, a family member, a colleague, a job loss, anything like that. It's very traumatic, difficult, creates trapped emotion in the system, and more. Heart walls, that's another subject I can go over another time. And on the subject of animals, they are very loving beings and can feel everything that we're doing. It's very easy working with animals, and I've worked on many. They have no ego, so it's wonderful working with them. They love everything that we do to them. The emotion code is just a tool to help one cut the baggage so that we can move forward. So getting rid of and releasing the trapped emotion enables our body to become more of a body of light. Again, and that's how we were supposed to be, a body of light. Then we're able to attract the things that we really want without guilt. And that's an important aspect. Attract. With any trapped emotion in the system, it's a low vibration, it's very dense energy, and it's real heavy. And with that, it keeps attracting things to us that are of that same vibration, that same density. So it just keeps attracting more and more layers in the system. So 90% of people's physical pain, believe it or not, is due to this emotional baggage that's stuck in your field. And the belief in this work is that there are as many trapped emotions in the body as there are days in a year. That's 365 trapped emotions. Utterly amazing. That's over and above a heart wall. Heart wall can have its own set of trapped emotions because the body has a field of energy around it that's 6 feet wide, left side, right side. It's 2 feet above, 2 feet beneath us. That's your biofield or your aura. The heart wall, or the heart itself, has its own field of energy around the body, and that's 12 feet wide in any direction. So it's huge. So if we have a trapped emotion in that, we're now creating a heart wall which can be much larger than feet and yards. It can be enormous. And that will give us diminished life if we have a heart wall. So that's another subject I'll talk about along with the inherited trapped emotions on another segment. So stay tuned for that. So think about that. There's a lot of dense energy for the body and organs to have to sift through daily and keep the body functioning if we have trapped emotion. So this can begin at childhood, it stays with us and continues to grow and make more layers. So the emotion code is one of the most powerful tools created to help. Using the emotion code automatically changes the way we think and feel about things because it releases so much energy that's not needed in the body. Now, in the 22 years that I've been in the metaphysical community, my knowledge and education has evolved exponentially in the field of energy using many modalities through the years and learning all the time. That's why I'm always giving you more updates and more education. I've witnessed many benefits in people and animals using this modality. We're living in a tremendously interesting time. The earth has a vibration, just like us, and it's shifting all the time and transforming. So we can feel it, we can see it happening globally. So moving this dense energy out of the body helps it to become lighter, rather than hang on to the shades of gray within. That's your trapped emotion, shades of gray. So if you're interested in learning more on this subject, the emotion code by Dr. Brad Nelson, he's been teaching this and working with this modality now for 30 years. Also, lastly, I'm going to show you my book. So here's a copy. You can see it, A Change in Perception. This is my first book. It's very exciting. There's a lot of information in there that I think that you will find very educational, helping you to think outside the box. So to learn more, go to my website and click the book. There's a link that will open up that you can read an excerpt from it. Well, I guess we're at the end of the segment today. I hope you enjoyed this. So to learn more about any of the subjects we talked about, go to my website, energyworkstudio.com. If you have any questions, you can certainly email me, energy4522@gmail.com. Thanks everyone for joining in today. It was a pleasure. I hope you learned something from this. Stay tuned for our next segment. Stay connected.